Hello again, guys, and welcome to another episode of the B-Cube Show with your boy. Now, today, I'm doing another episode of The Broke Gamer. It's been a while, mainly because I was on PlayStation, and PlayStation didn't have Game Pass, obviously. But since the inception of PlayStation Plus, the new PlayStation Plus, that they're trying to, make it the Game Pass killer.
Oh, call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
I highly doubt it is, but anyway. They've got a long way to go. They have to really improve their catalog.
We have to respect the process. It's been really difficult. Stop, start. But yeah, we'll get it right. I'm convinced.
But anyway, I only play PlayStation Plus Extra, I think. The other stuff is too expensive for me, one, and also the catalog just is not that great. But anyway, today I just realized I forgot to put the mic on this.
I'm a professional. This is what I do.
Today I'm going to be talking about Assassin's Creed. Now, Assassin's Creed is a game that I thoroughly enjoyed in my youth. I think I only played 2 games though, this being the third, the one that I'm going to talk about today. And when I played the first game, there was just a lot of things that happened leading me to not play the other games. The first being I lost my Ezio collection. I bought the game when I was in probably like grade 10 maybe, I don't remember, and I bought the Ezio collection. So I'm lying through my teeth. I actually bought Assassin's Creed when I still had my Xbox 360. I bought Assassin's Creed 2. And I bought it because it was cheap. I found it at Musica. And it was about $100, so I bought it just because I just wanted a new game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ezio's story was very cool. I really enjoyed the story as a kid, the combat and everything. I think going into it now might be very, very weird, but back then it was quite awesome. I really enjoyed it. So I bought the Ezio collection on Xbox One, and I played it again and finished it. So Assassin's Creed 2 is one of the games that I have played and finished more than once. The more you know. And I was gonna play it a third time, but then I hadn't played Assassin's Creed in a very long time, so I decided I'm just not gonna do it. I did play a few minutes of it, but I just did not get into it. But today I'm gonna be talking about what is deemed as the last great Assassin's Creed. If you are a fan of the video game franchise, you might know exactly which game I am talking about. Please take a trip with me as we go to Egypt, the home of none other than the Lord. Assassin's Creed. One of those games that seems to have stood the test of time and failed against the test of time at the same exact time. A game that kept its name but lost its soul. If you've heard reviews about Valhalla, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Assassin's Creed built its core on being a video game that praises stealth, a strong story, and deep lore. As time has gone on, that lore has been chopped up and screwed. The games have tried to appeal to newer audiences by being more bang on and losing, as I've said, its soul. But with the new Assassin's Creed coming up in the horizon, slated for 2023, I thought let me go back and look at what many have called the last great Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Origins. Let me first take a look at the story of this video game. Assassin's Creed Origins, as you can imagine, is supposed to center around the creation of the Assassins. I'll explain later why I say supposed to. The game follows Bayek, a magi in Egypt. I actually wonder what magi means. I do not know. By the time you see this, I will have known, but right now I have no idea what it means. A magi in Egypt who is hunting those who murdered his son. He does this along with his wife, Aya, if I remember correctly, who you play as briefly for certain sections. The game is what I like to call a sort of classic pyramid scheme revenge plot, where the main protagonist chases down a group of people from the base to the head in order to get their revenge. They chase down all these different people who use animals as aliases. Interesting. And also, at the same time, they help Queen Cleopatra to reach the throne. The conflict comes when she turns on them and they realize that they have been fighting in the open for others, and this way is not really the way to go about it. They must then enact change by fighting in the shadows, and thus the assassins are born. It really is as convoluted as it just sounded. The setting is quite weird as it starts in the middle of the beginning. There's no setup, there's no introduction to Bayek or his family to give us that feeling to root for him as the protagonist of this video game. It kind of just starts with no warning. It literally starts with a boss fight. Then it moves into a brief flashback about Bayek watching his kid die. I don't know why they killed him or why they thought he could open some vault in the beginning. There's probably more around it, but what I mean is it doesn't do a good job of setting these things up. And then we meet Aya, Bayek's wife, who of course is the badass woman who cannot be tamed. But again, we don't learn much about her. I found out halfway through my playthrough that she's also a magi. It would have been good to have them explain the story or at least help us understand Bayek and Aya's relationship and their relationship with their son to properly grasp the emotion that they had. I mean, obviously, they lost their child. It's a very sad, traumatic experience. However, we do not get to learn their relationship with this kid and just see them all as a family and see their history or just learn enough for us, or for me rather, I guess, to actually care. Anyway, it felt like they just threw the player in the middle of someone else's playthrough and let them go at it. It's quite weird. The confrontation then comes at a very weird point. It feels like they forgot about it and just threw it in along with a conclusion, which, to be honest with you, did not leave me very satisfied. Overall, if I had to rate the story, I would give it a 5 out of 10, as so much more could have been done. The gameplay is very good. I will not lie, I really enjoyed it. That is, I think, one of the reasons why this game has stood the test. It has not stood the test of time. It's only been about 4 years. However, it is one of the reasons why this game is lauded as one of the best Assassin's Creed games and one of the best ones in recent memory. The map is enormous. Now, when I say this, I think it is not an understatement. Maybe, though, it feels so big because you're using a horse and you're walking most of the time or running in Bayek's case. Whereas if you are in a game sort of like GTA or Cyberpunk or maybe something where you had a car or different means of travel, it might seem a bit small. But for me, the game felt huge. There would be sections of the game where I would hate having to go to a certain mission because it was just too far and I hadn't done the whole hawk thing, falling in the hail, in the bale of hay. There we go. Thank you so much, Mrs. Puddingo, for all the English that you taught me in grade 7. And the hail bale to, did I say and the straw thingies that horses eat. Thank you so much. I hadn't done that to unlock the fast travel mode or feature. So I'd hate to travel with the horse. It took a long time. It was quite annoying. So it is a very, very big game. Now, I'm not very well adversed in the geography of Egypt. Most things I know about Egypt is that our good Lord and Savior was the protagonist in that area at one point, or for his entire life. I don't know. Listen, don't please. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really know much about Egypt, so I can't tell you whether or not the map is up to par, up to code, or whatever. One thing I can tell you is that it is huge and they do have pyramids. It was crazy. Now, a problem that I had with the map being so enormous and the game and the story itself is that the story does not really take advantage of the map. I cannot stress this enough, that this map is huge, but the section that they use for the story, not for the game, for the story is quite tiny. Now, obviously, they might not use every nook and cranny of the map. However, when you play a video game, that is why in games like the older GTAs and maybe games like Cyberpunk, I'm using Cyberpunk, why did I say it like that? Cyberpunk. In games like that, they use the entire section in that they take you from one corner of the map to the other, to this corner, over there. That is why in older GTA video games, they would lock off one area of the map because you would have to do things in one area. And then after that, you will go to the next area, and then the next area, finally, you unlock everything. Your story needs to take advantage of its map. Now, I would like to say it's I'm in the middle when it comes to the map and the story because it's so huge. I don't know if they did use the entire map, it would have been a problem, but I don't think they took advantage of it. Origins is a game that requires a gamer's intrigue. If you're just playing the story, you will miss out on just how massive the game is. There are areas that if I did not explore, I genuinely may not have seen. And I do not mean areas such as secret areas, hidden areas, or whatever. Rather like proper areas where you can explore and find quests. That is where the game takes advantage of the map, with its quests. The game has about 25 main quests, meaning the main story has about 25 missions, and the final hours of the game are just automatically a mission. I think there were like 6 missions or whatever in the final one. I'm not saying that they are the quests themselves, but it was just different quests for the final mission. Now, however, my thirst for an Assassin's Creed game was thoroughly quenched by the variety of these quests. Now, I say variety in the sense that there were so many. I think when I searched it, there was about 130 or something, I don't know. But they may seem repetitive to some, but for me, they were fine. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how many I did. I probably did about 80 of them, and that's including the main quests. So, they do get repetitive at some point, but the game requires a grind. Each mission has a level system, meaning if you're too weak for the recommended level, you're gonna have a bad time. The grind offers weapons, XP, and ability points for the skill tree and upgrades for stuff like your tools. And in total, I think there was about 130 mission quests. I don't really know. This is sans the DLC though. I did not have the DLC. If I had the DLC, I was gonna lose my mind. The combat is also a bit challenging, more challenging than I remember. Obviously, I think there's like a 6, 7, 8 year gap between, no, probably a 10-year gap actually, between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Origins. So obviously the combat is going to be very crazy. But there is parrying, which is kind of interesting because I'm not usually a parrier. I'm just a hope and pray type of person. The shielding, the stealth stuff, and boat fights. You can thank Assassin's Creed Black Flag for that. The combat felt quite easy for me though, but also challenging when I went up against higher level opponents. What made it challenging was how slow their life bar was rather than the AI just being good at what they're doing. I think I lost more fights, not because I was bad in the fight, but rather because I was just too weak, which sucked. Something else I did not like was how the level system didn't allow me to have special weapons because I was too weak. For example, if I found a weapon that was a level 32 and I was still a level 16, I could not use that weapon because I'm too weak, which is weird because like if I fought so hard or worked so hard to find this specific weapon, why can't I use it? It should be my reward. Anyway, it is what it is, I guess. And there are also different things to do in the video game. There's stuff like chariot races, which was quite weird for me. Banner, what up? And gladiator battles and different modes for them, and the obvious collectathon, which is in every single game, especially if it is open world, and the odd puzzle here and there. There's small details in the game as well, which I really enjoyed, like if Bayek is on fire or swimming in dirty water, or he'll be limping if he jumped off a great height and he landed on his feet. Cool things like that, which just make the game seem just that bit more interesting. It just gives it that bit of, va-va-voom type of thing. It was very much appreciated. So I'd give the gameplay probably like an 8 out of 10 because of how detailed it is, how good it is, how much I enjoyed it, and the different things that you could do and the quests that will quite literally have you spend. I kid you not, as soon as I finished the video game, I did not want to see it again. I did not want to see it again. I did not want to see Assassin's Creed anywhere near me. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that video. Assassin's Creed, as I've said, is hailed as one of the last great Assassin's Creed video games. And with the new video game coming out, I think it's Assassin's Creed Mirage or something. With the new with the new game coming out, I'm quite hopeful. Even though Assassin's Creed, even though Assassin's Creed came out, this Assassin's Creed came out in 2018, and they've released I think 2 more, which is Valhalla, the latest one, and Assassin's Creed, I don't know, the one in Greece, Odyssey, yes. I tried playing Odyssey once, but I just could not get into it. But yeah, I really hope that Mirage lives up to the hype that it's getting. It looks good. I've seen the trailer. It looks really nice. And I think they're in India. If they're not in India, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I offended anyone. But I do think that it is in India. And yes, so I really do recommend Assassin's Creed Origins. It's a very cool game. I really enjoyed my time with it. I played it a lot. If you could see the hours that I put in, you might be disgusted at me, especially because in a few days I have to be writing an exam. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also send me a comment in the comment section. Say whatever you need to say. Tell me about Assassin's Creed. Tell me if you have a favorite stealth game. Tell me if you're excited about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Tell me if you don't even care about Assassin's Creed. Also, fun one, tell me what you thought about the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yes.
I did not watch it personally. There's a reason for that. Why? That's why. Thank you so much again, guys, and please enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider checking out the channel, and do not forget to like and subscribe, and please help me feed my kids.